Doing great, man. It's a victory Monday. Packers beat the Bears. Hard to be any better. First place in the NFC North. How impressed were you with Jordan Love bouncing back from a very strange interception to play as well as he did?
Yeah, it was out of character for the way he's played the last, month or even more. He hadn't had an interception in 4 straight games. The thing I thought was really good and interesting was just his downfield throws. Like, we saw it last week against Detroit. He started to hit on some downfield throws. He had, I think, 2 touchdown passes yesterday on throws that were considered downfield, 20 yards or more. So it's 2 straight games with those kinds of touchdowns after having 0 the first 12 games of the season. So I do think the downfield passing game has been a big spark for them.
Rob, are the Bears good?
I do. I think they are good, Chewy. I mean, I don't know that they're great. I don't know that they're, that they have a superstar on offense where you're like, we cannot let this guy beat us. But I do think they're, they've sort of figured out how to win with the group that they have. It's a sign of good coaching, whether anybody wants to admit it, especially Matt LaFleur, whether he wants to admit it or not. It's a sign of good coaching, and I think the Packers better be ready in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks now with 12 days to go down there and get the Bears' best shot at Soldier Field, on that Saturday night game.
After watching the Matt LaFleur press conference, when he talked about Christian Watson, I walked away from that thinking, okay, Matt wants to get the ball to Christian Watson more. Did you have that same impression, or is that just me seeing the growth that I've seen in Christian Watson and projecting my thoughts onto Matt LaFleur?
I mean, it could be a little bit of that, Gabe, but, I mean, he also wants to get the ball to Jaden Reed. He wants to get the ball to Josh Jacobs. He wants to get the ball, to Romeo Doubs, who he even brought up, really didn't, for whatever reason, didn't have anything yesterday. So, I mean, look, I think he realizes, as we all do, that Christian Watson has, an ability that, maybe not many of these guys have. And the thing that I thought was really, really good about Watson is, like, you saw him do it from the outside receiver position. You saw him do it from the slot. I mean, he put his foot in the ground on that slant and just beat his guy off the line, like a Devontae Adams would. And then his acceleration was like a Jordy Nelson would, right? Like on that play. It was, a really impressive play all the way around. And I'm sure when he saw that there was only I think there was just single safety on that play, that he probably knew he was getting the ball and had a chance to go.
Rob, it sounds like LaFleur had a little problem with the officiating yesterday. I just want to throw 3. I just want to get your take on 3 of the penalties: the Keyshawn unsportsmanlike, the Loveland interception, and the Musgrave catch. Did you agree with any or all 3 of those, or what was your take?
The problem with the Keyshawn one is it's just the classic case of you get the second guy, right? Like, I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't know how you don't see somebody put their hands on someone's neck.
The official was right there on the replay. It happened right in front of him, Rob.
Yeah, that I don't get that. I sure had a hard time with the Musgrave one. I just did not see, I think because it was called the way it was called on the field, I thought it was hard to overturn. I think it would have been the same way if it was called, incomplete or whatever on the field. I just think it was a hard one to overturn. I did not see on that interception. That's the one where they ended up ruling it incomplete, right?
Yes, correct.
I did not. The 2 options I thought were, their ball with a catch or the Packers ball with an interception. I did not see incomplete.
Ball never touched the ground, Rob. Like, how can it be an incomplete pass when it doesn't touch the ground?
Yeah, I did. If you want an entertaining look at, someone's belief and view of the officials, go look at Wes Hodkowitz's timeline. He's, of course, the Packers.com writer. And look, I love Wes, but he works for the Packers. He's going to have maybe a little bit stronger opinions. But Wes is just hilarious when it comes to the officiating. He is so funny. And he was obviously not a fan of Craig Wolstad's crew.
Well, since we're talking about the officiating, as we talk with Rob Demovsky here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, Has Micah Parsons drawn a hold at all this seaon?
He has drawn a hold or two. It's not many, though, Gabe. It really isn't. And I think wasn't it the week after this was originally a topic? They called one, right? Like, okay. I can't remember which game it was, but there was a month or so ago we were talking about this with him, and he and he finally got one like the next game, and I don't know that he's gotten one since.
How is this possible that the officials just refuse to call hold? Because I know LaFleur was frustrated with one yesterday. Like, this dude is the first person in NFL history to have 12 or more sacks to start his career in each of his first 5 seasons. And somehow this is the guy that everybody's constantly blocking legally?
Yeah, so Micah actually had an interesting take on that post-game. I'm trying to find his quotes here. I'm going to have to paraphrase it because I don't have it in front of me. But he said, and this is interesting, he's like, the officials call holding when it's on the chest, like from, the middle part of your body, shoulders, outside the shoulders. They don't call it above the neck. And he said, look, I'm shorter than most pass rushers. He's only 6'3". He tends to get really low around the edge. And he said, I don't know if he's wrong or right on this, but he basically said that stuff above the head isn't holding. I don't know if he means it isn't holding because they don't call it, or it isn't holding because the rules say it isn't holding. But he doesn't seem as frustrated, or didn't seem as frustrated by it last night as he has been in previous games.
Rob, is there a case for Enagbare to be starting over Rashawn Gary? He just seems more disruptive than Gary.
For a while, or at least the snap counts were pretty even. It's just like the exposing of Rashawn Gary has been in full force the last half of the season, when started out pretty good with Micah drawing some double teams, and Rashawn has not been able to do it. Yesterday, Chewy, they played basically the same amount of snaps. Gary played 40, Enagbare played 39. So,
okay.
I don't think Enagbare's sack total is very high this year, though, either. He seems to have gotten. I think yesterday was that really only his second sack. Gabe, do you have the stats up? I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think he's had a ton of sacks this year.
Yeah,
but
he's only got 2 sacks.
Yeah, which I was surprised at when I looked at it last night.
He does have a sack and a half in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's also making a lot less money than Rashawn Gary. I know you shouldn't play guys because they make money or they don't make money, but in the long-term picture, Chewy, I don't know how you bring Rashawn Gary back at the salary that he's going to make.
Well, I mean, but you can make the argument that Enagbare made 2 of the biggest plays on defense yesterday. He had the lone sack, and then he made the stuff on 3rd and 1 that made 4th and 1 happen, and the Bears throw the ball, and that leads to Keyshawn's play.
Yeah, I mean, and just when you're looking ahead to next year, I mean, Rashawn Gary's base salary is $18 million next year. They could, they'll save $10 million on their cap if they cut him, almost $11 million actually.
Yeah.
It would be close to $20 million if they did it after June 1 or designated it after June 1. I don't see how he's on this team next year. I don't see how Nate Hobbs is on the team next year at that salary. But that's those are off-season problems. They're trying to win the Super Bowl right now.
Well, I guess since we're talking about some off-season stuff, I had a thought yesterday as we were doing our pregame show, Rob. Has Sean Rhyan done enough where he could potentially stick around at center? Because to me, since he started playing center and since Belton came in to play right guard, this team is starting to run the football the way they want to run the football.
Yeah, it's interesting. A couple of weeks before Elton Jenkins got hurt and when they had seemingly settled on, was it Jordan Morgan starting or getting more of the snaps at right guard until he wasn't. Sean Rhyan had some pretty direct comments to us, basically saying, "I know I'm done here.
Really?
I'll be playing somewhere." I'll be playing somewhere else next year. I guess I just got to get through the year and then see where I end up. And less than a month later, he's starting and playing well. At what is not necessarily his natural position. So I do think it's possible he's found a home here, but Elton Jenkins has still got to be. He's got to play. So, I mean, Elton, and they seem more happy with Elton Jenkins play at center than maybe some of us think, or I just didn't necessarily think it was very good. But I do think they seemed happy with it. So it's a good question.
Well, because I guess I just assume Elton's gone because of his contract.
And he might be. He might be as well. I mean, he wanted a contract extension or at least more money.
Guaranteed money.
Yeah, when he moved to center. And now he might have played his way right off the team too. But I mean, his number next year is the same thing. It's let's get $18.5 million. I mean, it's just, and it's almost all in base salary, which means they could save. And he doesn't have, he's toward the end of the proration of his signing bonus, so they'd save that whole thing if they moved on from him. So. Yeah, we got some questions and some things to answer on the offensive line, but Anthony Belton seems like he's settled in too.
Found your right guard for sure.
Yeah, seems like it.
What about Rashid? Is he gone for sure, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, like you can't pay all these offensive linemen, right?
Yeah.
They're paying Zach Tom. They had been paying Elton, so maybe if you let one of those numbers go, then maybe you can bring back one of those offensive linemen, but. They probably still think Jordan Morgan could be a starting left tackle. He's not a guard, but it's a big if and it's a big hope, but you better be right if you let Rasheed Walker, walk out that door.
Matt LaFleur didn't have an answer for it, but did Josh Jacobs, if you had an opportunity to talk to him in the locker room, on 3rd and 1 in that last touchdown drive for the Packers, 3rd and 2, they pitched it out to Josh. And it looks like it's going to go nowhere. There are bears all over the place on the right side. He somehow gets through there, ends up having his biggest run of the day, a 21-yard run. Did Josh Jacobs have an answer for how the heck he got out of that situation and made a huge, impactful play?
Yeah, he actually said it was a play that was designed to go outside. And as soon as he saw the look from the defense, he's like, I knew it wasn't going to go outside. So I was like, okay, you got to press it as long as you can, meaning try to be, as patient till you can find a hole. And he said he saw guys just flowing at him, and I said I had to go. I had to go. So I did think it was interesting that he, when he saw the look, he said he knew that it was possibly trouble, but yet that just speaks to how good he is and how good he can be in those situations to make something out of what he thought was going nowhere.
Is there any concern with Doubs? I mean, he didn't do much against Detroit, and in this game, he had 2 targets, no catches.
Yeah, did you guys think that one was a drop? I don't know that I did, but some people thought that it might have been a drop. I think it was. I can't remember if it was a 3rd down or not. I didn't think it was a drop, but anyway, that's a great question, Chewy. I mean, this is a guy who obviously we all know what happened last year when the ball wasn't coming his way. He does seem like he's matured, does seem like he's grown. But, he's in a contract year, and I'm sure he wants to show somebody that he's worth something. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you look at his last 3 games, Rob, 2 catches, 23 yards, 4 for 20, and no catches this last one. It's just like...
Yeah. What can he really complain about? Direction. He's on the field as much as anybody. Like, get open. I don't know.
Tough love from Josh.
I mean, he's getting all the snaps.
Yeah, he played 43 of the 53 snaps. Only Watson at the receiving position played more. So, it's funny. I was thinking this morning. I was looking at the snaps, and I'm like, oh, Bo Melton's basically wide receiver number 3, but then I forgot Romeo Doubs played in the game, and so Bo was actually number 4.
The Wicks injury, I guess, kind of caught me by surprise because then, again, Bo Melton made the great play, and they're throwing him the ball down the field. He gets an offensive pass interference penalty. I love Bo. I'm glad they have him, but it's like, why is Bo Melton playing this much? And then it made more sense after LaFleur said the ankle injury for Wicks. Is there any sort of concern that this – I know he played, but he only played 6 snaps. Do they think this is going to linger, or is he still going to be good to go? Because he had such a breakout game against Detroit.
Yeah, that one caught me by surprise afterwards. And it's funny up at the press box, somebody even said, why is Bo Melton on the field in this situation? And then he catches the touchdown pass. But I mean, some conversations in the press box, if they, would be funny sometimes with people. I know the Manning cast is great. They should mic us up and have a camera on us sometimes, because I think, it would be kind of funny. Some of the things that we say that turn out to be like wrong. Obviously, we were wrong about Bo Melton, but it's, I thought, coming out of the game in Detroit, okay, Wicks is going to all of a sudden, see his role increase. But yeah, without knowing that the injury was bothering him that bad, he practiced. I think he was limited all week, but I guess, since we don't get to see team periods, all we basically get to see is the warm up to practice. You don't know how limited somebody is.
Did that happen on the last play on Thanksgiving?
Well, he had been dealing with that, right? Even going in, right? He'd been dealing with a calf and a lower leg injury, really, since training camp. I mean, he missed almost all of training camp. I mean, he was in and he was out. Calf. But yeah, from if you just counted, practice reps in camp, I mean, he didn't do very much, and it bothered him in the early part of the season. And I think it's sort of a thing that's lingered all year. I do think, I would assume he's going to be able to contribute again at some point, especially the way he did in Detroit. But that was a surprise.
Rob, certainly appreciate the time, buddy. Look forward to talking to you next week. Should be an interesting week and a very formidable opponent coming up in Denver on Sunday.
Yeah, top 4 defense in the league, I think. And if I'm not mistaken, the Packers don't win much in Denver. The last one I can remember is the overtime game.
Favre overtime?
Walker.
Greg Jennings on, I think it was the first play of overtime.
It was the first play of overtime. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know how many other wins. Yeah, I don't know how many other wins they have in that city. I don't think it's many.
Oh, man, now I'm going to have to go back and look. They haven't won there in like 20 years, Rob. That makes me depressed. This is a bad note to go on a victory Monday against the Bears. Come on, man.
Keep it real here. Got to keep it real. Real quick, Denver. Here we go. They won at home in 19.
Okay.
They lost in Denver in 2015. They won at home in 2011.
Yeah, they won on the road in 07.
Won in 07. Lost there in 99.
Thanks, Chew.
Lost there in 1990. They tied that was in Milwaukee. They lost there in 1984. They lost there in 1978. They lost there in 1975. That's the only win there.
And it took overtime and a Brett Favre touchdown throw in 2007. Yeah. There we go. Great research done by Rob Demovsky.
Yeah, nice.
Appreciate you, buddy.
All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you.
Hey, guys. It's Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Thanks for watching our clip. I'm sure it was super informative and educational. I'm just kidding. I love those knuckleheads. And we do it live every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get informed anytime we drop new content.